make sure they have skin in the game. Skin in the game in all lending, like, is the number one indicator whether or not that loan is going to go good or bad. Here's a question for you. What are some of the best questions a limited partner can ask when evaluating investing with a sponsor or a syndicate?
I would typically want to know who's the property management company. I would want to see the loan agreement, how much equity needs to be raised, how much has already been raised, how much time to close. Let me see the pro forma budget. Let me see the updated T12 and rent roll and AR aging report, just to see what's happening currently and see if there's any trends. Like, why it looks like their other income is decreasing the last 3 months. Why is that? Or it looks like they have a lot of loss to lease. So then you come up with questions. So the sponsor should readily share those things. If they don't, then I would hesitate.
One of the red flags to me is always when a general partner is not putting their own money in the deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, well, we're raising $3 million. It's like, cool. How much are you putting in? Well, nothing. And then you ask the next question, and you find out that they've got like 9 extra general partners involved. Some of them are actually receiving fees for raising capital, so they have zero business being part of the general partner. They had no value whatsoever other than they know a couple rich people. And then you find out a lot of these deals that I was seeing in 21 specifically, the GPs were walking away with $1 million plus in fees at closing. And you were just kind of like, hang on a second. This is cash in for me as a limited partner, and it's cash out for you? Like, where's your interest in helping me if this deal has a problem? So I would add that to the list. Like,
look at the fees.
Yeah, look at the fees, but also make sure, like, verify that the main GP or the KP, that's another thing I can't stand, we'll talk about that in a second, is actually putting money in the deal. Make sure they have skin in the game. Skin in the game in all lending, like, is the number one indicator whether or not that loan is going to go good or bad.
Well, you brought up property management. One thing that, I would have assumed is, like, if it's your company, it's your apartment complex, like, because it is more of a business, and like, as an investor, you're investing in the company that owns the real estate. Like, I would have just assumed that, hey, the property management is your own little firm. Are there, like, when it comes to property management, is it location based, or is it like there's giant big firm, like, like, if I don't know how to ask this correctly, but like, if I go to, like, Scott Belsley, who's a property manager, he oversees, hundreds of thousands of houses or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, is there property management companies that oversee, like, just a multitude of apartment complexes that have nothing to do with the management structure of the ownership?
Yes, and then a lot of syndicators, they are vertically integrated, so they have their own property management, they have their own construction management, or like me, I just use a third party property management,
which I like better, because it's a vertically integrated and they're not doing a good job. You can't fire them. if you hire, one of the big 5 or whatever management companies in DFW, a lot of times they'll put a couple people on site, right? So they will, even though it's not your management company, they'll actually open a property management company, like, on the complex. But if they're not doing their job, you can fire them. Mm-hmm. But if I own the property management company, when am I ever going to say, that management company sucks, right? Like, I'm not. I'm going to blame it on somebody else. If I own the contract, I hate these vertically integrated ones, just so you know. Because if there's a rehab overage, is that GP really going to hold his general contractor accountable?
When it's himself.
Right. I mean, it's him. Like, no. He's going to blame it on inflation, right? And then sign the change order and then do a capital call.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's congressman or senator or president, whatever, that messes up.
Right.
It's like, which one? You pick.
Yeah.